Richard Southern joins us to chat about some of the day's more interesting stories. And Richard, we're all kind of still groggy after the time change this weekend, but that biannual tradition could finally be coming to an end.
It could. We have a huge update on this today, Erica. In the United States, the Senate today passed a bill that would do away with the clock change in the United States for good, putting America permanently on daylight saving time starting next year. Now, it still needs the approval of the U.S. House of Representatives and the backing of U.S. President Joe Biden. But if it gets that, it could open the door for Ontario to make the same move. You see, the other year, the Ontario legislature passed a bill that would put Ontario permanently on daylight saving time, provided New York State and Quebec make the same move. So New York State might be doing it. Quebec has not indicated it's going to do it yet. But I asked MPP Jeremy Roberts today, who authored this time change bill, if Ontario could move ahead with doing away with the clock change without Quebec. Take a look.
I just think it would be a logistical nightmare for us if for half the year Quebec and Ontario were on different times, and you would have people trying to drive back and forth for meetings and trying to keep track of which time was which. I think it would just end up being a mess. So, I really think we do need to get Quebec on board.
So there you go. That might be the last thing standing between us and the bi-yearly clock change, Erica. If Quebec decides to do away with it, we might also. How about that?
Let's hope Quebec jumps on board, because it gets harder for me every year as I get older to catch up.
I don't have kids. I don't have kids, so it doesn't really bother me too much. I know your dog probably wakes you up an hour earlier, but I know a lot of people struggle with it. So maybe it's time to end it.
All right. NASA is planning to return to the moon, and we're getting a sneak peek at that journey tonight.
They rolled out NASA now the first time they've assembled this. This is the new rocket, Erica, that will bring humans to the moon and to Mars. It is a behemoth. It is called the Space Launch System, or SLS. Atop it sits the Orion spacecraft, where the astronauts will be in. This is now fully assembled at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. It's going to soon roll out to the launch pad. It's the most powerful rocket ever built, producing 7.2 million pounds of thrust at liftoff. It's going to blast off uncrewed in May, and it's going to go on a 26-day journey, 450,000 kilometers from Earth, going to circle around the moon and come back again. It's going to hopefully bring humans to the moon in 2024. It's not cheap. Each launch costs $4.1 billion. That's on the U.S. taxpayer. But Erica, just about anyone's going into space these days. Did you hear about this? Comedian Pete Davidson will be going into space this month on Jeff Bezos's rocket. So they're letting anyone up there these days.
I'm jealous, to be honest. And finally, Rolling Stone has released a list. Rolling Stone has released a list of the best lead singers of all time, and these rankings always generate, of course, plenty of debate, Richard.
Super controversial. I want your take. They said the Rolling Stones said the best singer of all time, best lead singer, Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin. Now, I don't know. This might be a bit old for you and I. What do you think, Erica? Robert Plant?
I was going to say my pick was Freddie Mercury, but I see that he's number 2, so I'm happy about that. He ranks pretty high.
Absolutely. I mean, 2, 3, and 4, I mean, they could be interchangeable. Freddie Mercury, Bono, Mick Jagger, I mean, legendary frontman there. Jim Morrison, number 5. Roger Daltrey from The Who coming in at the number 6 spot. Eddie Vedder, John Lennon, Chris Cornell, and Kurt Cobain. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Led Zeppelin a bit before my time. People are going to argue with me, but I'm with you. I would have given that to Freddie Mercury with those pipes that he had.
Right.
Erica.
Love Freddie Mercury. He's amazing. Okay, thanks, Richard. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.